Funny, stupid, uncanny, weird things that happened during these events. When I was in high school, there was a guy named Gary Dordick that the church leader in my high school was going to murder because he represented some girl in a court case. And you take these, once again, going to court involves holding these people to account. They're not men because they can't be held to account for their actions. So they're going to murder him because that guy represented this girl. And the dude had like this weird history of like, he was smart enough to take the bar exam and then become a lawyer. And one of those guys, just a real maverick, a real unique individual with unique skills. And once again, white entitlement at this church. If you have unique skills, we kill you, eat your brain so we can have your skills. Like, the stuff with the Memphis women. They kill them, eat their brains to steal their powers. Because the truth is these guys aren't special, they're losers. And they're usurpers. They're the worst type of losers. They just steal everything for themselves. And they're entitled to it because they're losers. But, yeah. That guy later ended up screwing me over. He's another example of somebody I shouldn't have helped, just like my cuddle buddy and that guy I called Brooks from high school, people I should have just let die. He's another guy I saved that ended up knifing me in the back later. He ended up representing me in the case where I got to eat the corpse and have sex with the corpse and get raped by the church leaders, and it netted $4 billion, and he screwed me out of it. Because that's who he is, a garbage person. So, I don't know if I covered this in that video, or what's the true superior side? It's nihilism. If you're a nihilist, people can't threaten you. You don't get fear, and you don't back down. Okay, nihilism is the psychology these people fear, because it means selflessness. And they are selfish. They only care about themselves. Okay. That is the true psychology that is superior. Another thing was when I was in high school, there was this body positive activist fat lady. They ended up like stealing her autistic son. So when I became president, I tried to give her back her son. And this is the thing about malignant narcissists, deflection. They had convinced her every bad thing that had happened to her was my fault when they were just going to murder her, and I told them to find another way, and they ended up putting her to work doing porn and being fat. Like, oops, my bad. I also told her I wanted her to do trans work to tell people she was trans or whatever. So you could argue the trans movement was kind of my fault because I just thought that would be a punishment because they wanted to punish these people. I remember another guy, I told him make him do math, make up his own math because he's an idiot. I kept coming up because with Stu, or this guy from the church, from my school, with all malignant narcissists, every disciplinary action is an overreaction. You do something wrong, I kill you. It's not a fair punishment to fit the crime, and the punishments, unfortunately, with this church go on forever. It is the stupid, like, send you to hell to burn forever. Whereas, like, you know, Buddhism, hell makes sense because it's like purifying water. You go down there, you're boiled, and your goodness floats up, and the rest of you burn. Okay? And if you're pure evil, you die. That's what happens. You do not pass go, you do not collect $200. So, where was I going with this? Yeah, those were two uncanny events. That fat lady gave me an earful and ended up losing her complete visitation rights with her autistic kid. But that's just the thing with these people. If you have a kid, they're going to take your kid and threaten it because they're good people like that. Because as we know, that's how good people function. Your kid's under the threat of death until we get what we want. There's other little things like that, like leading all the way up into like the church events where there were people I previously just didn't want the church to kill or murder, and then they later came up in some form or fashion. The lawyer guy's probably the funniest thing because I saved him believing that maybe he'd help me one day or maybe he'd help other people, and he just was a piece of shit. Shouldn't have helped that guy. I shouldn't have helped that other really fat lady either. Like, That was really stupid. I mean, I think I ended the body positive shit when I was president because I don't really see a lot of the anti-body positive stuff happening, or, maybe the Repubs are getting back to it. I don't really care because most of them are fat fucks anyways. So you're watching a fat fuck badmouth another fat fuck. Like, great. Whatever. In between there, I don't even remember exactly, like... Okay, so... I remember this weird thing where Blondie was like, imagine you're married to Mary Bowberry and you have billions of dollars, and that's all you need to think of. Okay. Look, if it is true, because all I have are memories, that I did have sex with all the women I had sex with, and I did have sex with Mary Bowberry, if that is true, they became members of the church, and the church destroys your mind. It shuts down your peripheral nervous system and changes who you are. That is what they did to me. They changed who I am through heavy metal poisoning, hypnosis, and drugs, and all the bullshit you could fucking imagine. So, even if I were to end up with Mary Bowberry, it wouldn't be Mary Bowberry, because, like I said, these people just destroy everything. And in Blondie's mind, the ideal woman is you poison her with heavy metals and you hypnotize her and you fuck her brain up as much as you can, because you want a woman that just wants to have sex and reproduce. You want her to want to have sex and reproduce. You want a mindless, stupid woman with no inhibitions or any type of thought process. And them, the retard brain is the sexiest brain you could have in a woman. If your wife is that stupid, that is an amazing wife. All she wants to do is drugs and reproduce. That's it. That's your highest fucking standard. It's the same thing that a baboon has, a rat has, a bird has, a whatever animal. You name it. Every animal wants to reproduce. The thing that makes a person is their emotion, is their emotions, and everything, that all that stuff matters. So I'm pretty sure they've probably completely destroyed that woman's mind. Okay, and I'd imagine it's the same thing for all the wives, by the way, that nobody escaped it. I bet they destroyed everybody's brain because they want mindless, stupid control. Mindless, stupid control. Alright. I was thinking about it. I guess the universe does like me to some extent because I did end up back in Florida, and I guess this kind of falls under uncanny. I never thought I'd be down here, and I've been down here for like 2 years or some shit. Recovering from heavy metals, dealing with psychosis and trauma and all that stuff, all that good stuff. One of the things was my peripheral nervous system coming back and getting to feel everything again, actual feel sensation, which is what these creatures crave, is sensation. It's why they're addicts. And I was I've always had appreciation for simple things. I used to love feeling the wind or the heat in my hair from the sun, or the changes in my body, the changes in my environment. They call it mindfulness, but I've always naturally been that way. I've always liked the stimulation of my nervous system. Nobody in this church has that because they all have heavy metal poisoning, and it's unfortunate that a lot of the women I had sex with were obese because they're probably diabetic and you can't give them chelation therapy. So they are permanently fucked up forever. That is just the state of things. So, yeah, I mean, maybe the universe was like, you're gonna die, Bob. Go to Florida, where that place where you always feel comfort with things you're familiar with. You feel familiarity, and you feel a form of safety with them because you know them. And Florida's just my home. It's the place I know. Beach has always been a favorite place, and just in general. And I've heard people shit talk Florida, and I shit talk every other state. Georgia's a shithole, so yeah. And I'm kind of happy. Gratitude-wise, I got to feel and experience, even the smells. One of the things I noticed being down here is there's just certain smells you don't smell anywhere else, from mango trees to rotten mangoes. To some of these trees down here have a very unique smell to them. We got night blooming jasmine in the backyard. Smells can be nostalgic, just as nostalgic as video games or anything else. Old cars and getting to beat your wife and be racist are all forms of nostalgia. So I'm glad I didn't grow up. Well, I did grow up in that, but whatever. I'm not nostalgic about getting my ass beat. I think I should probably. I mean, a big chunk of nihilism is to basically convince yourself you're already dead and then do whatever you want because it doesn't matter because you're already dead. This is an override for courage. You don't need courage when you just accept it's already over and then you just do whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter what you do at that point. That is the power of nihilism. You're free of yourself, you're free of your ego, and that's what these people are terrified of. But yet they love LSD, which removes both of those things, so you can call that a chaotic relationship. They're imbeciles, but whatever. The problem with these people is they want everything both ways. They want to be losers, they want to be winners, they want to be gods, they want to be devils. Like, they remember this guy was like, oh, in the center of politics is nothing. Like, yeah, in the middle of these people is nothing. Okay. I had other ones. I probably should have wrote these down. I remember talking to this kid Kenny out of killing himself in high school, and later I think he ended up being a human sacrifice for me when I was in church. Yeah. When I was the president. Yeah. I remember Blondie going on about how they don't hold the same values, and you guys don't hold values, you follow rules, okay? Rules are not values, alright? They're rules. And as much as you guys want to say you're an ubermensch, you follow rules. You're not. You're the furthest thing you can be, because you have to follow the rules, okay? And I don't... This guy, what's his voice? Sigmund Freud said that the whole thing with churches is they replace morals and values with rules, and then people go, the rules are the morals and values. No, they're rules, okay? Not taking money from the church is rules, okay? The church should be happy to pay out money, by the way. Yeah. I guess this is going to be a short one. I think I should probably just die virtue signaling, trying to stop these people, as opposed to just letting them fucking kill me or whatever. Just be like, oh, look guys, I tried and it didn't work. I think Blondie's bullshit with me trying to convince me that I was going to get $4 billion, and this is how I know it's not going to happen, because the first time around with this shit, my mistake was not going into witness protection, because I was poisoned with heavy metals, which made me timid and scared, and I was scared to go into witness protection. This time around, I'm not. I'm going to try for it, and they end up putting me in prison. Good news for them, I'll get stabbed to death in prison. So, there isn't any winning in this for me, and if you know anything about my life, that's just kind of the thing. You just kind of make the decisions. Like, and I guess on a closing note, I remember telling Anal Eating Mummy God I wanted that money to help other people. I wanted to help good people. My conclusion on that is that entire statement is a false statement, because there are no good people. If there were good people, they would have helped me. They'd be helping me now. There aren't any. And here's the thing. If Jesus came back and it was this fucking hard to get you to do the right thing, he would just give up and say kill him. Okay? That is just a general fact, and it's not up for debate. He would go, so you're just not going to, oh no, we believe if you just keep hurting him, like, so Jesus would be like, okay, and then he'd strick you with some kind of sickness. He'd have, like, liver cancer on the floor. It's like, so I'm just going to start punching you in the face until you get better, and we're just going to keep hurting you until it's fixed. And these guys would quickly go, oh no, that's horrible and stupid. I don't deserve that. One of the other things I thought was funny was the white knighting, the These guys are annoying because their argument for why you should never shit talk them or say anything bad about them is they're the bastions and protectors of society, when actuality, they're the mindless, stupid people that follow the malignant narcissist, and if you offend the malignant narcissist, they murder you. I mean, no church should ever be fucking deploying people to make sure anybody can't get laid, myself included. If I try to get a girlfriend, they murder her, okay? That is what happens. It wouldn't surprise me if they told Mary Bowberry she can be my girlfriend and their intent is to murder her, okay? I don't really give a damn, personally. Like, because it's stupid. You shouldn't be doing that anyways. And what are the million? It's Bobby's fault. It's Bobby's fault. No, it's your fault. It's your religion, your rules, your decisions. Okay, the word's called agency. And if you're a lady and these people are murdering you, you go, okay, but you got to have agency in this and admit this is you. It's nobody else. It's not Bobby. Bobby's just trying to live his life, and you dumb assholes are trying to control something you can't control. That's why I'm going to be killed. Because you have control issues because you were raped in the ass as a kid because you're a dumbass. And it's a part of your religion, being a dumbass. And I remember these dudes were like, they gotta thank us, we're the heroes, and you hear the self-righteous, and it's funny they call me self-righteous, because that right there is self-righteous. Your malignant narcissist told you to murder that woman because he doesn't like that guy, and he doesn't want that guy to reproduce. And that's why you murdered that woman. And then you're gonna look me dead in the face and go, you're protecting society from disreputable people like Bobby, who was nice to Amanda, didn't actually want to date her, just became her friend, and Stu was so insecure, he sent an army of retards from the church to try and murder my ass. And then he failed to murder my ass because he's a loser, and he hasn't let that go because he can't live with that as a fact. He's a fucking loser. And then you losers prop him up and murder innocent women instead of murdering Stu, which would be the good thing, by the way. You can't do that because you're not good people. That is why you are the real self-righteous ones. You ever find yourself in that situation? You need to fucking sit down and figure out how to unfuck yourself. Yeah.